Imagine you're in a heated conversation. Words are flying fast, emotions are rising, and everyone seems eager to speak their mind. Suddenly, you choose to stay silent. That pause, the deliberate silence, shifts the entire dynamic. The room grows quieter, eyes turn toward you, and your presence becomes heavier, more commanding. What if I told you that silence is one of the most powerful tools you can wield, not just in moments like this, but throughout your life? That knowing when to speak and when to hold your tongue is a mark of true wisdom and strength. In a world that prizes constant noise and endless chatter, silence often feels like a weakness or emptiness to be filled. But the ancient Stoics saw it differently. They revered silence as a strategic force, a source of inner calm, and a way to cultivate reason over impulse. They understood that measured speech guided by reflection carries far more weight than the flood of words spoken without thought. Today, we're diving deep into the strategic power of silence through the lens of Stoic philosophy. We'll explore how silence can protect your mind, regulate your emotions, enhance your influence, and preserve your dignity. You'll learn how to cultivate the skill of knowing when to stay quiet for maximum impact, transforming silence from mere absence of noise into a profound expression of strength. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by constant demands to speak or found yourself regretting words said in haste, this video is for you. By the end, you'll see silence not as emptiness, but as a deliberate, powerful choice, a weapon and a refuge that the wisest among us have long embraced. So, if you're ready to master the art of strategic silence, to reclaim your calm amid chaos, and to speak with wisdom when the moment truly calls for it, let's begin this journey together. Let's begin by tracing the roots of silence in Stoic philosophy. The great Stoic thinkers, Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, didn't just practice silence, they revered it as a vital virtue intertwined with wisdom, temperance, courage, and justice. To them, silence was not mere absence of speech, but a conscious, deliberate act aligned with living according to nature and reason. Seneca, for example, wrote extensively about the power of restraint. He advised that silence is a refuge for the wise, a way to avoid the pitfalls of rash speech and foolishness. Epictetus reminded his students that true power lies in mastering your internal responses before reacting outwardly, and sometimes that mastery manifests most strongly in quietude. Marcus Aurelius often reflected in his meditations on the importance of speaking only what is necessary and truthful, valuing the strength found in measured, thoughtful words. Silence in Stoicism is connected deeply to the virtue of temperance, the moderation of desire and impulse. It's the practice of holding back impulsive speech that might cause harm or reveal weakness. It's also tied to courage, the bravery to stay quiet even when social pressure pushes you to fill the space with noise. Moreover, silence is just and fair. It respects others by listening rather than dominating the conversation. It prevents harm caused by careless or dishonest words. In this way, silence becomes a tool for justice, fostering harmony and understanding. Throughout history, these Stoic masters demonstrated that strategic silence enhances one's presence and effectiveness. Their lives offer countless examples where choosing to remain quiet led to greater influence and preserved their dignity amid adversity. So silence is far from passive or weak. It is an active, virtuous stance, a deliberate choice that reflects wisdom and strength. This foundation helps us understand why silence holds such strategic power. Next, we'll explore the crucial question of when to speak and when to remain silent. The Stoics believed that discerning the proper moment is essential, for speech without wisdom can cause harm, while silence can be a shield and a sword in its own right. Understanding this balance is key to harnessing silence as a powerful life skill. Let's dive into the Stoic principles guiding this discernment and practical ways to cultivate the awareness needed to know when your voice will serve and when your silence will carry the greatest impact. Silence isn't just about withholding words, it's a powerful tool for self-control and emotional mastery. The Stoics understood that many of the troubles we face stem from impulsive reactions and unexamined emotions. When we learn to pause, to embrace silence before speaking or acting, we create space for reason to guide us rather than fleeting feelings. Imagine a moment of anger or frustration rising within you. The urge to lash out might be strong, but the Stoic response is to recognize this impulse and deliberately choose silence instead. This pause allows you to cool down, reflect on what's truly important, and respond thoughtfully rather than react rashly. This practice of measured silence aligns with the virtue of temperance, moderation, and self-restraint. It also embodies courage, the strength to resist immediate gratification or social pressures to speak impulsively. Stoic exercises like journaling your thoughts and meditating on your responses help cultivate this discipline. By regularly reflecting on your triggers and practicing restraint, you build a mental habit of thoughtful silence. This habit becomes a shield against regret and conflict. Furthermore, silence fosters inner calm. When you speak less and listen more, not just to others but to your own mind, you develop clarity and peace. Your thoughts become less scattered and your emotions less volatile. This calm state enhances your capacity for wisdom. In daily life, practicing silence before responding can transform relationships and situations. It prevents misunderstandings, reduces tension, and conveys confidence. People sense when you speak with intention rather than out of impulse. Now let's examine how silence functions strategically in communication. Silence can command respect and attention in ways that words alone often cannot. The Stoics observed that when you hold back unnecessary speech, your words gain weight and significance. Think about a conversation where one person listens quietly while others talk. That silent listener often holds a subtle power, creating curiosity and drawing others in. Silence can disarm opponents, diffuse conflict, and create space for reflection. Using silence strategically means understanding when speaking will advance your purpose and when silence will serve better. It's a balance between presence and restraint. For example, in negotiations or debates, a well-timed pause can unsettle others, encouraging them to reveal more or reconsider their stance. In moments of criticism or attack, silence can prevent escalation and preserve dignity. The Stoics advise that wise individuals speak less but say more, focusing on truth and necessity. This principle elevates your influence because people trust and value your words when they know you do not speak lightly. Practically, cultivating this kind of silence involves listening deeply, observing carefully, and resisting the urge to fill every silence. It requires patience and confidence in the power of your presence. Through strategic silence, you harness a subtle yet profound force, one that can shift dynamics, inspire reflection, and lead with quiet authority. This is the art the Stoics practiced, and it remains a vital skill for effective communication and personal mastery today. When it comes to conflict and difficult conversations, silence can be your greatest ally. The natural tendency in confrontations is to react quickly, to defend, explain, or retaliate. But the Stoics remind us that true strength lies in maintaining composure and choosing our responses carefully. Silence in these moments allows you to hold your dignity and avoid unnecessary escalation. Imagine someone provoking you, pushing your buttons, trying to get a rise out of you. Reacting impulsively might satisfy the moment, but often leads to regret or worsened tension. Choosing silence instead doesn't mean weakness. It means mastery over yourself. It's a way of saying, I am not controlled by your provocations. Silence serves as a boundary, signaling that you will not engage in fruitless arguments or toxic exchanges. It also invites reflection, not just for you, but for the other person. Sometimes the absence of response prompts others to reconsider their words or behavior. Stoicism teaches us that not every moment requires our voice. Sometimes silence is the most virtuous and effective response. It preserves your peace and allows reason to guide your future actions. At the same time, silence can invite dialogue when used wisely. It creates space for calm communication rather than heated conflict. Learning when to speak and when to stay silent during disagreements is a crucial skill for maintaining healthy relationships and personal integrity. Turning now to the seventh method, cultivating silence in a noisy world. Today's environment is saturated with constant stimulation, social media, news, endless chatter. This noise pulls our attention outward and scatters our mental energy. The Stoics understood that cultivating inner silence amidst external chaos is essential for clarity and wisdom. They recommended regular practices of solitude and quiet reflection, where the mind could rest and renew. This silence is not simply the absence of sound, but a state of focused presence and mental stillness. In modern life, carving out moments of silence is more challenging but equally necessary. It might mean unplugging from devices, setting aside time for meditation or journaling, or simply stepping outside to breathe and observe without distraction. By prioritizing these moments, you protect your mental clarity and build resilience against the constant barrage of noise. The mind trained in silence is better equipped to process information deeply, think critically, and respond thoughtfully. This practice also fosters self-awareness, helping you recognize when external noise is influencing your emotions or judgments. With a calm, silent mind, you can return to your center and make decisions aligned with reason and virtue. In this way, cultivating silence is a daily discipline, an essential pillar of Stoic living that supports all other aspects of wisdom and strength. It's a sanctuary within, accessible anytime you choose to retreat from the noise. Next, we'll explore how silence enhances listening, deepening your understanding and empathy in ways that spoken words alone cannot achieve. Let's delve into how silence enriches listening, a skill often overlooked in our noisy world. True listening requires more than hearing words. It demands presence, patience, and quiet openness. The Stoics understood that silence is the soil in which deep understanding and empathy grow. When you listen silently, you create space for the speaker to express fully without interruption. This presence shows respect and builds trust. It also allows you to absorb the meaning beyond words, the emotions, intentions, and subtleties that often reveal the true message. Silence in listening sharpens your awareness. Instead of planning your response or judging prematurely, you focus entirely on understanding. This attentive silence transforms conversations from shallow exchanges into meaningful connections. Practically, cultivating this kind of listening means resisting the urge to fill pauses with your own voice. It means acknowledging that sometimes the best response is thoughtful silence, signaling that you're fully engaged. This practice aligns with the Stoic virtues of justice and wisdom, fairly hearing others and seeking truth before speaking. It helps you avoid misunderstandings and respond with greater insight. In relationships, whether personal or professional, silence as a listening tool deepens empathy and facilitates resolution. It allows you to meet others where they are, fostering mutual respect and cooperation. By embracing silence in listening, you not only improve your communication, but also cultivate patience, humility, and compassion, qualities essential for a wise and balanced life. Moving to the ninth method, the power of silence in leadership and influence. Leaders throughout history, including Stoic emperors and philosophers, have wielded silence as a potent tool. Strategic quietness can convey confidence, inspire respect, and amplify your presence. When a leader speaks less but with precision, their words carry more weight. Silence can create anticipation, compelling others to pay closer attention and reflect more deeply on what is said. In moments of uncertainty or crisis, a composed silence signals control and steadiness. It prevents hasty decisions and models calm deliberation for others. Moreover, silence allows leaders to observe and understand before acting. It's a moment for gathering information, reading the room, and planning wise responses. The Stoics teach that true authority comes not from volume or force, but from inner mastery. Silence embodies this mastery, showing that your power is rooted in reason, not reaction. By cultivating a quiet presence, you build trust and inspire confidence. People are drawn to leaders who listen more than they speak and who choose their words with care. Practically, incorporating strategic silence means pausing before responding, allowing others to speak fully, and using silence to emphasize key points. It's about quality, not quantity, of communication. This skill transforms influence from coercion into respect and from noise into meaningful guidance. Silence, wielded well, is a leader's secret weapon. Together, silence in listening and leadership reflects the profound Stoic understanding that the most powerful communication often happens not in words spoken, but in the spaces between. Mastering these skills enriches your relationships and amplifies your impact in the world. Now, let's talk about balancing silence and speech for a virtuous life. The Stoics teach that wisdom lies not in constant talking or constant silence, but in knowing when to speak and when to remain quiet. It's about quality, not quantity. Speaking only what is necessary, true, and helpful, and choosing silence when words would be empty, harmful, or premature. This balance reflects the virtue of temperance, moderation in all things, including speech. The Stoics remind us that impulsive or excessive talking often leads to misunderstandings, conflicts, or reveals weakness. On the other hand, complete silence in important moments can be a missed opportunity to share wisdom or defend what is right. Cultivating this balance means developing the courage to speak up when your voice matters, even if it's difficult, and the wisdom to hold back when silence is stronger. It's a practice of mindfulness, being aware of your intentions, the impact of your words, and the timing. In daily life, this might look like pausing before responding in conversations, asking yourself, is this the right moment? Are my words necessary and truthful? Or choosing to listen quietly while others express themselves, reserving your input for when it adds value. The Stoics modeled this balance constantly. Marcus Aurelius wrote about speaking with purpose and silence when words are needless. Epictetus taught that the wise person speaks little but meaningfully. By practicing this balance, you cultivate respect from others and maintain your own inner peace. Your words become powerful instruments of truth and virtue, not noise or distraction. Moving on to practical exercises to harness the power of silence. Theory is valuable, but transformation happens through practice. Daily habits can train your mind to embrace silence strategically and thoughtfully. Start by incorporating moments of deliberate silence into your day, morning meditation, mindful breathing, or short pauses before speaking. Use these moments to center yourself, observe your thoughts, and cultivate presence. Journaling is another powerful exercise. Reflect each day on your use of speech and silence. When did you speak wisely? When might silence have been better? What emotions or impulses influenced your choices? This reflection builds awareness and intentionality. Practice mindful listening in conversations. Focus fully on the other person without planning your response. Notice the impact of your silence and how it affects the dialogue. Challenge yourself to reduce unnecessary chatter. For example, set limits on social media, casual talk, or interruptions. Replace these with quality silence that nurtures mental clarity. Finally, remind yourself daily of Stoic teachings on speech and silence. Quotes from Marcus Aurelius or Epictetus can anchor your practice and inspire discipline. Through these exercises, you gradually rewire your habits, making strategic silence a natural and empowering part of your life. This practice deepens your wisdom, strengthens your presence, and enhances your relationships. Together, balancing silence and speech with practical daily exercises equips you to live the Stoic ideal, speaking with virtue and restraint, and finding strength in quietude. This mastery brings you closer to a life of tranquility, influence, and inner freedom. As we reach the end of this journey into the strategic power of silence, I want to leave you with a powerful reminder. Silence is not emptiness, weakness, or absence. It is a profound and active force that, when wielded wisely, enhances your strength, sharpens your mind, and preserves your peace. The Stoics understood this deeply, practicing silence as a path to wisdom, virtue, and freedom. You now know that silence is rooted in self-control and emotional mastery, that it commands respect in communication, and that it builds resilience in the face of conflict and chaos. You've seen how silence nurtures deep listening, empowers leadership, and balances speech to create impact. These are not just ideas, but practical tools for living well in a noisy, demanding world. I encourage you to embrace silence as a daily discipline. Start small, practice pausing before you speak, seek moments of quiet reflection, and cultivate the courage to withhold words when they serve no purpose. Over time, these moments will accumulate, transforming your presence and your life. Remember, the goal isn't to become mute or withdrawn, but to become deliberate and wise. To speak only when your words add value, and to treasure the power that lies in measured quiet. This is the art the Stoics mastered, and the path they invite you to walk. Your voice is powerful, but your silence is just as mighty. Learn to balance them with intention and virtue, and you will find a wellspring of strength, clarity, and peace within. Thank you for sharing this time with me. May your journey into the strategic power of silence bring you wisdom, courage, and tranquility as you navigate life's challenges with grace.